So let's finish off my Joyride reviews with Joyride 3, Roadkill, which honestly it was a big surprise watching this movie because the first two Joyride movies are. The first one definitely is a thriller, like it's a suspense thriller about these people getting stalked by Rusty Nail, a semi driver, who just tortures them. And then Joyride 2 does the same thing with different characters, but it's kind of a slasher in a couple of scenes. And then you get to this one, Joyride 3 Roadkill, which is a straight up slasher. And I actually really love that. I love that this is a slasher. Honestly, it made it way more fun. And funny enough, the person who directed this, on Killer Flick, somebody was telling me that this person who directed this movie directed like Wrong Turn sequels, like 4, 5, and 6, I think is what he said. Which I could definitely see that. And honestly, I think this is better than all three of those movies. Like, I think this is way more fun and way more entertaining. But I could see the resemblance because the opening movie has a weird ass sex scene that's super awkward and really weird. It's like these two meth heads, like they're having sex and like they're freaking out because they ran out of drugs. So they call Rusty Nail on a CB radio, and he comes over, and what he does is, I guess I'm going to spoil this because it's the opening kill of the movie. Like, I'll just spoil it. They get trapped on, like, he hooks them with chains on their semi, and they've got to stay on the semi top of it for a mile to get their meth that's just hooked on there, taped on there. Or whatever drugs they're using. I don't even pay attention. But I paid attention to the kill because they both are on top of this semi just sitting there. Have to wait a mile. It's past a mile. And then the girl tries to grab the drugs, and then she literally, the way these chains are connected is where they will fly underneath it, and what it does is that she gets pulled under, then he gets pulled under, and their body parts just explode, and blood splatters all under the semi, and he just drives away without any sign that he was there because he was in the semi. And he kills them, and their body parts and entrails are just all over the road. That's hilarious. Like, it was genuinely an awesome kill. And this movie has some awesome kills in it overall. I really love the kills in this movie. I just went, holy shit, at the opening kill because it was just that intense and that hilarious and that awesome and gory. And this plot in this movie is about these racers now being taunted by Rusty Nail or killed and slaughtered, as opposed to the first movie where they're just taunted. And I liked how, even though they weren't in this movie that much, I liked that they brought cops into the mix. Like, I thought that was kind of cool because in the other two movies there were no police, and it's like, this guy, like, I guess it makes literal sense in the third movie of these films in terms of continuity, where it's like, oh, this guy is killing off many people on this highway. They're gonna figure out eventually who this person is, and they've gotten close, and I like how this movie elaborates on that. Like, he can't hide forever that he's been killing people, so I like that a lot. And I don't want to ruin the other kills, but this has some awesome gore. Like, the gore in this is actually really effective, really fun. Again, it does remind me of the Wrong Turn sequels, because it's very much that amount of gore. And that amount of over-the-top kills, which is hilarious and made this movie very interesting. I really love the gore in this movie a lot. And funny enough, the guy who plays Rusty Nail in this movie is Ken Kersinger. That Ken Kersinger that played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. That's interesting to see him in this movie, and he actually is really good in this. I like how he sounds like the other guys who played Rusty Nail, and I thought that he was intimidating. And his face is shown way more in this movie, but it's because it's Ken Kersinger. They're not gonna hide the fact, I think, that it was him. I think that's why they showed his face more. Not in full view, but you could see his face way more than any of the other two. And this was fun, but as opposed to the first one and the second one in ways, it doesn't have a build-up to it. It's just immediately slasher movie. And that's fine because I was entertained throughout. Like, but it's not the first one. It's not trying to be the first one. And the second one was a mixture of the first one and this one. But I really did enjoy this, even though it didn't take its time. It was a very quick like just splatter gore. Like it wasn't like they built on anything like the first one. It's just kills, 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 which I thought was really fun though. Despite it being so quick, I thought that was fun and fun. So this was a great one to end on. Like I really did enjoy the sequel for how fun it was. So man, I really did enjoy Joyride 3. This was a really fun movie, and I really enjoyed the kills in this. And everything else is totally fine and serviceable, but the kills were awesome. You've got to see it to believe it. That's all I can say. Just go watch it to see the kills. They are awesome. So that's it with the Joyride franchise. I'm glad I finally finished watching them for the first time, and I really am glad it ended on a good note. So, as opposed to most franchises, which ends on a bad note usually. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me down below what you think of Joyride 3 Roadkill, and thank you so much.